What is going on, everybody? Thanks for joining tonight. So you get Jason and I back to back weeks here, and kind of doing some more Mash and Journey stuff, and we're super excited for this. This for me was a brand that I shouldn't say brand. I've known about the big brand. I wasn't as familiar with this this whiskey that we're going to be kind of going through tonight, the Silver Springs, until not that long ago. But when I had an opportunity to try it, I was blown away. So, I know you've had it before. What are kind of some of your thoughts?
It's an interesting mash bill. I'm not sure if we can say what it is or who it is. We'll let Ed talk about that. But it is a mash bill from a familiar distillery, I believe. And I gotta, give credit where credit's due. That goes out to Hello Again Whiskey Friends. more in point. Jeffrey Wack, who did a video on this, and Darrell was talking it up, how good it was for the price, and then finally was able to get my hands on it. We got to try it at the Bardstown Blitz, and both of us were like, "Holy crap! Like this is really good for a what is it, like a $30 bottle, something crazy?"
I was like, maybe some people. I mean, I know some people have found it for around that $40-$45, like MSRP. I mean, so even if you're paying full $40 or $45 after tasting that, man, that was a damn good whiskey for, I hate to say that price because it doesn't feel like it's doing it justice, but it's just a really good whiskey and comes at a great value.
Yeah, Trav says $34.99, so $35 for that bottle. I mean, it's insane. I'm actually curious to talk to Ed to see how he's keeping the prices so low. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to find that out as well.
Yeah, and then we have another little surprise that we're going to be tasting through tonight. We're not sure how much the group is going to be interested in it, but it'll be good to get your guys your feedback in the chat tonight as we go through them. So we'll reveal those in a little bit later.
Yeah, we're looking forward to tonight. So I guess rather than delay things anymore, because we gotta, in addition to this, like Jason mentioned, we have a few other things we're gonna taste through tonight that could be very very interesting for some people. So without further ado, let's bring the man of the hour on, Mr. Ed Kohl. Ed, welcome to tonight's tasting. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Hank. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely. So we're looking forward to, I guess, kind of for anybody who wasn't able to see last week's, I guess, live stream that you did with the guys at Hello Again Whiskey Friends. I know you spent some time with them and going through a single barrel pick. So I was chatting with Kelsey today and just kind of, saying, hey, I'm looking forward to kind of doing a little comparison of the bottles that we each get or whatever. But that'll be a lot of fun. But if you don't mind, I guess just kind of go back, to, I guess, whatever point you don't mind sharing a little bit about yourself and, kind of what got you into the industry as a whole.
Well, first of all, I guess I've been in the industry. Let's see, I celebrated 53 years last year. So been here long enough to kind of figure it out a little bit. Okay. The industry, itself has changed so much over the years. It's dramatic. People ask me all the time, so what's different this year versus 10 years ago? It's just a different business today. A lot of that craft stuff that came up and now is kind of going away, which is really disappointing to see, because it all comes down to support. I mean, if we come up with all these wonderful things, if the consumers don't support it, and we're not going to stay around in business very long. Yeah. It's a tough business. The comment was made, how do we keep the price so low? I started in the industry with Gallo a long time ago.
Gallo Wines?
Gallo Wines, yeah.
Okay.
That's where I started. And, their theory is stack them high, make them buy, keep the price low and keep it flowing. And I've always been a firm believer in that. You have to have a value. If you can't keep a value out there, you're not going to be successful. That's always been my belief. So yes, we probably have this lower than, I can raise the price. Can we do that?
No, it's just, to me, when you find something like that of such good value, it, just like you said, it's a different business model in today's time. There's a lot of extra costs. There's a lot of competition. So to see this product, make its way to the shelves with a really great and unique flavor profile, let alone a rye whiskey, which even in today's market doesn't sell as better as bourbon. To keep it at that price and put something so unique on the market at that price point, it's unique. It makes you stand out, and I think that's something to be said for that.
Well, and again, that's what we tried to do. You know, when we launched this thing initially, we actually launched it about probably about 5 years ago, and didn't get a lot of traction.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, 5 years ago it was younger. This juice is now almost 11 years old, and so with all that age, you know, you're really getting to the point where rye is starting to really become something really interesting. The other thing that happened when we did this was when I went to the distiller that produces this, and I'm not able to divulge the name because of contracts.
Mm-hmm.
But when I went to him and I said, I want to put some corn in this mash bill, he looked at me like I had 3 heads. And he said, Ed, are you serious? I thought you wanted rye. I said, I do. And he said, okay, it's up to you. This is your formula. So he went ahead and did it. And when it came off the still, even he was surprised. The other thing he did was he talked me into super expensive barrels. And I said, do I have to pay that much for a barrel? Are you serious? And he said, Ed, trust me. And boy, he was right.
Meaning super expensive virgin oak that your whiskey would go into.
Yeah.
Okay.
In a number one char light toast.
Okay.
And what it was, and that's what
number one char.
Yeah, that's what really created this, because when you do that, you pick up all the vanillins, all of those wonderful flavors. You know, you don't get color right away, but after 11 years, there's the color we get.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really fascinating, because the one producer that introduced us to a low char like that, a char 1, was Buzzard Roost.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd ever tasted anything at a number 1 char. At least I didn't know if I did. They put it right on the front of the bottle, and I'm like, wow, a char number 1 with a light toast. Like, how does that work? And it really does bring the sweetness to the forefront, like you said.
Yep, it does. Yeah. You know, this is where you're going to pick up the vanillins and the raspberries and the raisins and all that wonderful stuff that's available in that wood, for sure.
Hey, I was gonna ask you about this. You know, in addition to the price point, you know, where it's at and like the availability of it, you know, and once a whiskey kind of, you know, gains the traction that I think a lot of us feel like this is really, you know, gained, you know, in a I guess to us in a short period of time, you know, what does that do for you in terms of, you know, your volume of, like, you know, catching up to like where your stock is versus, you know, the ability to, you know, to produce an 11-year whiskey. We all understand how that works, but, you know, what does that do for you in terms of, you know, kind of stepping on the gas versus kind of pumping the brakes a little bit with some of that?
Yeah. And believe me, I've thought about that, Scott. It is an issue. Thank God when we bought this and brought it in and had them produce this, we had them produce several batches. And so I'm trying to remember, I think it was, I want to say it was like about 800 barrels. So we had pretty good stock. We have pretty good stock.
Okay.
Now, will it end? Yes, of course. Do I have to go and now negotiate with them on another batch? Yes. Will the price go up? Yes. So, yeah, it's all that fun stuff you got to deal with.
Yep.
But, you know, it is what it is. And what we have now, you know, enjoy it while you have it. I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
You know, in addition to this, I think, you know, a lot of us, we just kind of refer to this as the Silver Springs, you know, Sweet Rye, but there's something else that's beyond that, the J.W. Kelly. So, you know, do you mind, I guess, just kind of sharing with people, you know, a little bit more about that brand as well?
Yeah, because J.W. Kelly became available. It lost the registration, and it was actually my grandson who found out about it. And he came to me and he said, "We need to do this." One of the main reasons was because J.W. Kelly was actually a guy who was born over in Ireland, born in Waterford, Ireland, moved over here to the U.S. when he was 18 years old during the Civil War, wound up in Nashville, where he became a rectifier during the evening. He was working regular job during the day and selling alcohol to the soldiers that were occupying Nashville during the Civil War. Okay. Well, he loaned some money to a friend who moved to Chattanooga. So he decided to come down here. He was going to go back to New York. He wanted to come back here to collect this debt. The guy couldn't pay him. So he decided to stay and open up a shop and wound up actually opening up the first distillery after the Civil War called J.W. Kelly Deep Springs Distillery, right down here on Broad Street. So there's tons and tons of history. What that did was, because Chattanooga at the time, at the end of the war, was nothing but a tent town. I mean, they completely destroyed everything here. So there was really nothing left. So he got down here, opened up the distillery, and he started bringing in industry, bringing in other distilleries. There was breweries that came in. At one time, there were over 30 distilleries here in Chattanooga, right after the Civil War. So we discovered all this history and realized we really need to bring this brand back. And we did a lot of research, and we tried to match the mash bills as close as possible. So we've got our J.W. Kelly Old Milford, which is our base bourbon. We do a J.W. Kelly single barrel, double oaked bourbon. And of course, then we do our ryes. And that's one other thing that I was going to point out. One of the other possible barrel picks you ought to think about is the J.W. Kelly Golden Age Rye. This stuff is delicious. Now, it's a different mash bill. And what we've done here is we've eliminated the corn. So now we've got rye, malted rye, and malted barley. And the end result of this is a pretty spectacular rye. You know, when you say rye to people, first thing that they think of is, ooh, that spicy, bitey, terrible stuff, right? That's the first thing they think. These are not even close to that. Well, you've already tasted the Silver Springs, so you know. But my whole plan was really to get something smooth, drinkable, enjoyable at a good price. I think that's a good plan.
No, I think that resonates with a lot of drinkers today, for sure. So
yeah, definitely. I think that usually for a lot of things, you can always give sweet to people. A lot of times sweet works really well for a lot of people, and it becomes, if nothing else, a little bit more of that, kind of dipping your toe in the water a little bit with ryes, as I think a lot of people have done now over the years, where early on with everybody within the club, like we could never sell a rye whiskey to anybody. Like nobody wanted it. And eventually over the years of doing this, more people have started to enjoy them. And now, I don't want to say it's quite as equal as bourbon. I don't think anything's ever going to pass that up, but it's pretty darn close. It's definitely narrowed. That's for sure. So
I think Ed, you made a good point earlier. As these ryes, Scott and I in our group, we fell in love with quite a few ryes over the years. Driftless Glen is definitely one of them, making really unique ryes. And as these ryes are getting older, they're just becoming more and more spectacular each and every year. So I think there's something to be said for that. Rye does, when it hits a certain point in a certain age, it keeps that spice, but it ceases to be spicy in terms of something that's maybe not so pleasurable for a lot of drinkers. And then it becomes into a more of a sweet and spicy profile, which people feel that's more approachable.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because we always talk about rye and the age of rye. You get to about 2 to 3 years, it gets kind of funky.
Yeah.
And then once you get past that, then it starts growing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously this one after 11 is pretty spectacular.
Yeah, I didn't realize they had those ages on them. So that's interesting. So
I don't put the age statement on it. You know, people have told me, Ed, tell us how old it is. My concern, my whole plan was to do single barrel cast strength. That's what I wanted to focus on.
Yep.
Now, with that said, that's good and it's bad. The good part is if you find a great barrel, wonderful. The bad part is the next time you go out to pick up another bottle, it probably is going to be another barrel.
Well, I think sometimes that's the fun part of it. I think that's a kind of the fun part of a lot of some of the different clubs, and how each kind of group has their own, everybody has their own palates, of course, but it's seeing what other people choose and why and all of that. So that's the fun part of a single barrel. You're never going to get that exact same thing back. Maybe you'll get something very close, but never the same exact thing. So that's what kind of keeps you wanting more of those things, always the search for something. So
I know we're going to talk about this a little bit later, but that's kind of what we do also with the Scotch. These are all single barrel one-offs. When the barrel's gone, it's gone. I mean, that's the whole idea. That's the fun part. That's the journey that you're on.
Yeah, well, that's going to cost you.
That's going
to cost you a nickel. It's going to cost you a nickel in royalties, right there. By the way,
look how Ed works the journey in. He's a professional. This guy knows.
Oh boy. Well, all right. So what do you say we dive into these? Because it's not only these three that we're going to kind of tackle a little bit. So I just went in proof order. So
Ed, are you sipping these along with us by any chance?
Of course.
Oh,
Are you kidding?
All right. True professional.
I love when the producers sip along with us. So it kind of makes us feel better that we're not getting it wrong.
So we're going to start with what, 15303?
Correct.
Yeah. We'll start with that one.
111 proof, right?
Yeah. So 111 proof, 15303. Don't tell us age or anything else yet, Ed, until we kind of go through them. Okay.
Well, they're all the same age.
All right. Well, I still don't want to know what the age is yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right. Let's dive into this thing. So thanks again for joining us and getting the samples to us. We appreciate it. So
no problem. No problem at all.
Nice color on that. There you go.
Yeah. Very nice color. One of the things like with these, that I always get with this is this kind of like candied, like a candied pecan, or not a pecan, like a candied almond or something like that. I don't know what it is, but it's like one of the first thing that jump, maybe, brown sugared almonds.
Yeah. Brown sugar for sure. I had one taster come back and say, I smell bubble gum.
Oh, bubble gum.
I could see bubble gum a little bit, but I definitely see the brown sugar for sure.
Yeah.
It's like borderline molasses. It doesn't get into that quite yet, but it's like right on the borderline.
With that fruit note that's there, Jason, do you get like because I always kind of struggle with this note, but not banana, of course, but like this grapiness. There's like something about a rich like plum or something like that.
Yeah, I could probably get down with that.
Well, I won't tell you what I see in the palate. I'll let you taste it first.
All right. Well, cheers, Ed. Let's dive in.
Cheers, because that's exactly where that nose is coming from.
Oh. Wow, you could chew on that a little bit. That's nice.
Yeah. I mean, even at 111 proof, it feels like it's punching above its belt is kind of what it feels like.
Mm-hmm. Man, that's sweet.
Man, I still get like a lot of the nose and palate kind of matching for me anyway.
I get chocolate covered maybe not dark raspberry, but chocolate covered
Yes.
light raspberry.
Yeah, I was just thinking like what that kind of like that fruit note is that's like layered with something, and it's definitely chocolate for sure.
There's a tartness to it as well. It's almost giving me like pomegranate vibes, where it's a little bit like tangy in a way.
How about chocolate covered raisins?
Yeah, I mean, you can go raisin for sure.
Yeah.
It's got some sneaky darkness.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, you do. You get kind of punched with that spice like right away, and then that kind of starts to fade away. That's where a lot of that heavier like fruit and that texture kind of starts to come in. So it's a different like way of drinking a lot of these. A lot of times you get that sweetness up front and then the spice, but kind of a little bit backwards, kind of.
This is like the rye equivalent of an Oreo cookie, where you have the top of it. Yeah. The top of it is spicy and chocolatey, and then the middle is just so super sweet. You can say raspberry, you can say raisin, bubblegum, cotton candy, wherever you want to get into. And then the bottom part of the cookie, then it gets back into that spice and chocolate again. So it just kind of takes you through this nice wave.
You're gonna love when I say this, Jason. It's a little bit of a raspberry Tootsie Roll.
Yeah, I mean, is that a thing? Do they make?
I don't know. It is now. I don't know. I'm liking it though.
So are you guys believers in just a drop of water?
Yeah, I think with certain spicy ryes for sure. You can kind of see how this opens up a little bit.
You add just a drop of water to these, and it's going to explode.
All right, I'm gonna taste it.
I added a drop of water to it.
All right, let me try this.
I'll tell you what, the nose got sweeter.
And it's because you have to remember these are cast strength products, and so everything's pretty closed and tight yet. By adding a little bit of water, you open up all those esters, and it just opens it right up.
It did it sweetened it up, and it softened the spice quite a bit, but not in a bad way. It still gives you a nice finish on it, but it definitely brings a lot of sweetness to the forefront.
Now in the back of the palate, I'm getting cinnamon.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I think it brought out for me. It feels like there became a little bit more of the like wood influence, a little bit more of the barrel kind of came out in that for me.
Yeah, Ed mentioned cinnamon spice. For me, I get like an oak spice.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Man, that's the first one. Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah. All right. That's good. Okay. Good place to start right there. So.
All right, so now we're moving on to the next one, which is 15310, 112 proof. So one more proof point above the first sample.
Yeah. Okay. Looking forward to this, man.
And it is amazing how all these barrels are different. It is just amazing.
What kind of like, so with that being said, what kind of I guess storage, not only capacity, but what's your storage kind of situation look like? How in terms of how you store these?
Yeah, a rick house is we've got about 500 barrels in the rick house now, and interesting enough, we pulled some samples a couple of weeks ago from the very top ricks as compared to the bottom. My ricks are probably about I think they're about 40 feet high.
Okay.
And when we pulled the samples from the top, the proofs were quite a bit higher.
Okay.
As compared to the lower. And again, that's all temperature. We don't rotate the barrels. We don't. We leave them sit where they're at.
Hey, Ed, I know you can't say the producer, but can you say what the mash bill is, or is that under lock and key as well?
No, the mash bill is right there. Mash bill is 65% rye, 15% corn, 20% malted barley.
Ah, okay.
Oh,
so that makes sense on the first one, because I actually am picking up some of that softness that the barley, like when you go back to number one after nosing number two, that rye breadiness comes out on top of the sweet. Oh man, that's so good. That's so good.
It is. It's interesting that you said that because I wasn't really picking up a lot of that until I smelled number 2 and just went back to it,
Yeah.
and it kind of started to come out of the glass
Yeah.
a little bit more.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
Well, again, you've added water to the first one, right?
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah. Sure.
Wow, number 2 it's almost another level, at least on the nose.
boy, it smells like less fruit forward, like on the nose anyway.
Oh, it's darker.
Mm.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
This is like more vanilla root beer float.
yeah, for sure. That's way different.
Oh my God, that's good.
Boy, that kind of vanilla root beer floaty kind of feel that it has to it, but the vanilla is like a really nice like if you scraped a vanilla, bean, like it feels like a very fresh vanilla. Well, yeah, that root beer note is definitely there for sure.
I'm still getting, to Ed's point, I'm still getting a little bit of the raisin that's coming through on that one too. It's almost like that fresh, open, sun-made raisin box that you get a little bit.
Yeah. Mm. And that vanilla is like crazy, like that, how it's coming through and like what it's coming through as.
Oh yeah, that's delicious.
Yeah,
that's different, so different than number 1.
And even though it's 1 proof point higher than the first one, I feel like it drinks lighter somehow than the first one. It's more depth of flavor versus spice.
Yeah. Yeah, you get like a little punch of spice right away. And there is some that's there. It's maybe more of an oakier kind of spice than it is anything, but nothing that's like a super spicy rye. There's not that.
Yeah, I got a little nervous when I tasted it because I didn't smell as much sweetness on the first one, but when you sip it, the sweetness is definitely there. It's just a little bit. It's like everything has been caramelized, which is
that's different.
Really
that's different.
You're definitely getting more oak on this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I'm just trying to figure out like what else that is that's there. There's something that feels familiar, but I can't like
JG no, it does not taste like the Starlight Star Made. It's the Star Made was a very heavy sherry finish.
Yeah,
so
it's not
that was like pure raisin on that palate. This is more of we pick up more of the raisin in the first glass. The second glass, it's a little bit more subtle because there's more oak prevalence in number 2, and more of like that root beer spice that you get too, which is really nice.
Yeah. Wow, that's interesting.
Cast finishes are really interesting. We have one called Melrose, and the Melrose it's actually the golden age mash bill, so it's minus the corn. We put it in. Well, we start it in the barrels first, and then we move it into an Amarone cask. Now, if you're familiar with Amarone,
Amarone, I was just drinking that over the weekend with my family.
Amarone red wine, isn't that nice? Yeah.
It's a very, very fruit forward red wine.
Yeah, big time.
Yep.
Anyway, so we got some Amarone casks from northern Italy, and filled it full of that golden age rye. Ooh, is that ever nice?
Sounds interesting. Damn.
Yeah,
I think the spice on this is a little late though. It's there. What do you think about the texture of both of them? Like maybe the texture is a little better on 2, but I have to go back to 1. But
I think the texture. I think that I thought 1 was chewy off the bat, but that was my first pour of the day. So number 2, going back and forth, number 2 is definitely chewier. Yeah. I just added a drop of water to number 2. I'm just gonna go back in it real quick and see.
There you go.
I'm gonna give that a try too.
And when you add the water, you're going to get a little more creaminess, but you're also going to lose that oak flavor.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's so bizarre. Jackie Zykin, when she was with Old Forester, I did a tasting with her, and she had told me sometimes when you add water to a whiskey, you can actually improve the texture. which is so counterintuitive to me in my brain.
Well, think about this.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you're distilling and you've got your mash bill, all right, what's coming off that still is all those esters, what we refer to as the esters, those oils.
Mm-hmm.
And those oils are going in and they're all closed and tight. The minute you add that water, boom, it pops those esters back open. Now it gets creamier. She's absolutely right.
Yep. Yeah, that is that's good. I'm kind of on the fence with that one because I really do like it, but I'm not gonna hold my opinion. We'll go for number 3 here in a bit.
Yeah, like I think for me, like so far I'm actually preferring them more. I think without the water.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think I like them without
me.
water.
Like
Yeah.
I think it feels like to me that it's, I don't want to say like muting it a little bit, but I feel like I'm wanting to have to search for more than like what I was getting early on, and we were getting so much without the water that now I feel like maybe it's even eliminated some things kind of. So
I think the water changed 2 more than 1 for me.
yeah.
Like 1 kept the spice, 2 I think got more oaky, but I think the texture got brought out more for sure.
There's a question on this screen, or at least I'm seeing it. Wayne is asking, is the Golden Age bottles, are they available in stores in Tennessee? The answer is yes.
Okay.
There you go. All right, last one here.
All right, so we're gonna jump up in proof at this point. Now we're gonna jump all the way up to 117. So it'll be interesting to see what between what do we got? 5 and 6 proof points.
So this is 15285. Let's see what we got. Oh, the candy's back.
Ooh. Oh yeah, that kind of candy.
Yeah.
Back that brown sugar molasses kind of on number 1. It just feels a little bit more ramped up.
This smells like raspberry ice cream to me.
Yeah, it really does. That plum and like almost like a prune or something. There's something that's like very like rich, like a rich dark fruit.
Hey man, don't tell people you eat prunes.
No, I don't, but
you don't need JG making fun of you for something else.
There's nothing wrong with people who eat prunes either, okay?
Ooh. Yeah, I love the nose on that one.
Look at the viscousness here. Wow.
Yeah. And this might be the darkest out of all 3 of them. This thing
it's
is
definitely the darkest.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a combo of 1 and 2, I think.
Oh my God.
Both like 1 and 2 kind of combined a little bit.
It's over. Holy shit.
The texture by far is the best, no doubt about that.
The texture, the flavors, the balance. Oh my God, that's so good.
Yeah, I think you still get a lot of that kind of like raspberry, strawberry, Tootsie Roll, chocolate, spice, molasses, brown sugar, a little bit of that kind of candied nut, feel. Man.
Ed, what do you think?
Well, first of all, guys, in all fairness, I knew which one you were going to pick.
And Ed is stacking the deck.
Yeah, feels that way. And yeah, again, it has a little bit of that root beer float feel to it as well.
Go ahead, Ed. What were you going to say?
Well, looking at these things right at the beginning when we pulled the samples, and I tasted through them first because I want to make sure everything is good before we send samples out. But you're right. You're 100% correct. You can just see it in the color. I mean, this last one is a lot darker. It's a lot richer. This really is what Silver Springs is all about right here.
And Richie was asking, is the Silver Springs going to be in California this year or in 2026 at all?
I'm talking to a distributor now. What happened in California was a little bit of a disaster. If anybody's heard of it, there's a company called RNDC, a very big distributor who we were with. They pulled out of California, shut down altogether, just pulled out. And the end result is it's turned into a real cluster. And everybody's scrambling, trying to find a distributor to represent their brands.
Mm.
We're kind of in the same boat, and we have not settled yet. So I can't answer that question because I really don't know.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
It really is. I mean, that the spice, like the layers that it has are nice. Like they're very, complimentary of like 1 and 2. Just, that little extra proof is just kind of letting those flavors just kind of lengthen the finish and everything a little bit too.
Is this the best $40 bottle we've ever had? That's a good question.
That's a very good question.
I would have to go back and even think of other $40 bottles that I remembered quite like this.
Yeah, I mean, a $40, I guess, let's say cask strength whiskey that you can get like off the top of your head, like, man, $40.
I mean, the only thing that I could think that gave me this type of impression for the price was the first time I ever tried Rare Breed from Wild Turkey.
Oh,
and I was like, holy crap, this is $40.
Yeah.
Like I definitely can, like, that gives me this type of like, this is crazy for $40 whiskey.
And the only thing I was thinking that's not $40, but the only thing I can think of that like was kind of a crazier, like rich brown sugar molasses note. And again, it's not $40, was when I first tried the 1920, like how good of a whiskey that was. But again, man, things, $10, $20 more. So man, $40.
Yeah, this is good, man. That
really,
I mean, hands down, that third sample that's the one. I mean, number 1 is great. It's sweet. It's delicious. Yep. Number 2 gives you some of that darkness without too much sweetness. And then number 3 is kind of the combination of all 3 of the other 2. And even then some. Just has extra layers to it. It's dark. It's chewy. It's really good.
Are you going to try putting water in it just to see what it does?
I don't know. I'm just going to enjoy it.
I was kind of thinking, I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to like know what I know I could be missing out, but man,
I mean, I'm sure it'll stand up to water, but it's really good.
That's a really, really good whiskey right there.
I'm still feeling the finish. That thing is still going. So.
Let me ask you this. I know when you were doing stuff last week with the guys at Hello Again Whiskey Friends, I know they had a lot of extremely high proof, so in terms of like what they were tasting versus like this, what is kind of the difference in profile that you've noticed, at least in the whiskeys?
Well, I'll be honest with you, it's not a lot of difference, okay, from what they tasted from what we're tasting right now. The difference is the barrel, because every barrel is different. And as it turns out, the higher proof one last week, I think it was 129, was the winner. Okay. The first 2 were dynamite. They were great. But that last one was just, it was like this. And the minute I saw the color, I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew that was going to be the one.
Ed, just out of curiosity, with these Char 1 barrels, right, do you see more flavor drift with those or less? Like, meaning, we just talked about us doing a pick, Hello Again Whiskey Friends. You said between those 3 there wasn't a huge amount of difference, but when you're looking at all the barrels that were distilled, a lot of barrels and where they're aging, are you seeing a lot of different flavor profiles from one to the other with a Char 1 versus maybe a Char 3 or 4 in your experience?
Well, first of all, I'm not using a Char 3 or 4.
Okay.
So
no, I'm just saying Char 3 or 4 from your experience in whiskey.
Somebody else.
Yeah,
for sure. Again, what you wind up with when you get into those heavier chars, you're going to get good color real quick. Okay. But then you're going to lose the vanilla.
Okay.
I mean, you lose those flavors you're trying to drag out. It takes you a long time to get them, but you can see the end result.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to just trying theirs with that high proof, just to see what that profile is. I mean, I know, between Kelsey, Darrell, and Jeff, I know those guys all are, have great palates, and it'll be interesting just to kind of see what that is in comparison, from a proof standpoint, just to see what that is. So I'm glad they were able to do one with you guys as well.
Sure. So I can tell you right now, number 3 barrel here that we just tasted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty close to number 3 barrel they tasted.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
And I wouldn't be surprised how the proofs react, because like you said, the first sample here was the lowest proof, and I actually think it drank the spiciest.
Mhm.
So you have that.
Yeah.
You have a little bit of that variable as well. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think the combo of just everything, a unique mash bill, the flavor profile, 35 or $40, like, man, it makes it like a very, very difficult bottle to get away from, and kind of refreshing in today's day and age of just, everything being so like expensive, anything that's a limited edition that they throw big price tags on. And it's refreshing to see that there's still, I guess for the time being anyway, something that is affordable and is as delicious, and I think, and as much competition to some of these other, LEs that are out there, for a fraction of the price. So, I mean, kudos to you for even having something like this on the market. That's crazy.
Well, we try to do that with the J.W. Kelly too. J.W. Kelly, the old Milford, it's on the shelf at about $40, 40, 42, 43 range.
Yeah.
The single barrel, 55. Yeah. And then the most expensive one I have is the Melrose Rye, aged in the Amarone cask. That's about $60. But those casks are expensive.
Yeah, Amarone is a very expensive. The good ones are very expensive. So
yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Are you with the JW Kelly stuff? Is that all source stuff, or are there things that you're doing yourself?
No, I'm not a distiller. I mean,
okay,
we want to build a distillery. That's our plan. It takes a lot of money. And right now my investment is sitting over in those barrels over in that rick house.
Yeah.
So no, what I do is I source my bourbon from a small distiller in Texas, and he's doing pot distillation, and I'm insistent on pot distillation. That's what gives you the creamy viscousness. A copper pot still, going back to single malt Scotch, which all has to be made from copper pot stills, not continuous stills.
Mm-hmm.
It's what gives you that viscousness. There's 3 reasons for copper. Number 1, the best transfer of heat. Everybody knows that, right? Number 2, there's actually trace elements of copper in the distillate that help us in the aging process. Number 3, most important, copper attracts heavy sulfurs and acids. So if you have a copper pot still that's pretty tall, you're going to do a lot of stripping, and you're going to get a very clean distillate. You have a short still, you're going to leave a lot of that stuff in the distillate. So that all plays in. That's all part and parcel of the viscousness that you're going to get from a various distillates.
Oh, hey, yeah, can't forget Dusty Dan, Ethan and Katie Turk, and of course Big Vic for also helping with the Silver Springs pick. So just want to. Big Vic said we forgot about him. I can't forget about my big.
Sorry. Yeah.
Big avocado. We love him.
A big old teddy bear. We didn't want to hurt his feelings. So yes, Vic, you were part of that. So we apologize sincerely for us leaving you out of that. So we apologize. So
he had samples too.
Yeah, I guess they were part of it.
Apparently, he needs to be included, so he wanted to be included. So whether he was or not, we're including him tonight. So good job on the pick there, Big Vic. So good job.
Yeah.
All right. So so I think we're locked into Silver Springs Sweet Rye.
15285. That is our barrel, Mr. Ed. Thank you so much.
I kind of figured that.
So what that is? 15285.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. He knew it. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. You kind of knew. That's a fantastic whiskey right there, and you don't even want to follow it up after and say for $40 that's great. That's just a great whiskey period right there. So
all right, so
All right, Jason. Good luck for the rest of the evening. I appreciate. This is gonna be awesome watching this. So
You at least have these poured, Scott?
no, I'm going to. I'm gonna pour this stuff.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
for sure.
So
First of all, I have to stop you a little bit. Okay?
yeah.
I sent you. Let's see. I'm trying to remember here. Let me look. So I sent you the Glenfarclas, the Craigellachie, which is gone, the Tomatin, which is gone,
Oh.
and the Bunnahabhain, which I still have. Here's,
Oh.
here's your problem with these.
Okay.
These are single barrels. Okay,
Yep.
so the single barrel gets bottled over there, and they ship it here. I buy the whole barrel. It's our barrel.
Mm-hmm.
But in some of these barrels, you only get 200 or 300 bottles out of these barrels. That's for the country, and so they come in and they go fast. So we'll taste the Glenfarclas first. What they call, I can't name it Glenfarclas.
I actually did not get the Glenfarclas sample. Did you, Scott?
What is I have four samples.
Oh, I got the Craigellachie, I got the Tomatin, and I got the Bunnahabhain.
You didn't. Oh wow. Okay. Well,
what do I have?
Let me double check the box. Hold on.
I sold shipped everything. But anyway, I think that one, it's going to say Spaceside's Finest, right? Spaceside's Finest. Parentheses.
Yeah, I do have one that says Spaceside's Finest.
Spaceside's Finest. Okay.
All right, so that's in play.
That's in play.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I have one that like it's almost like completely washed out. Like
Never mind, found it.
Got it.
Nice.
Okay.
I do have one that's, I don't know, what is this? That's what is it? Tomatin,
Yeah.
Tomatin. And then I have one that's Bunnahabhain.
Bunnahabhain, right? That one we still have. The Tomatin is sold out.
Okay.
Spaceside's Finest is on the water, coming in. It'll be here about the first week in December.
Okay. So we should pour those two then.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess cat's out of the bag, guys. So Ed has a brand called. Is this true? Benchmark.
It's Murray McDavid.
Murray McDavid. Okay.
Murray McDavid is the independent bottler, and just quickly to explain what that's all about, because a lot of people don't understand that. So in Scotland, you've got about 200 distilleries producing single malt, and they're all owned by the big boys: Diageo, Pernod Ricard, Brown-Forman, whoever. Okay, big companies, and they're using all of those single malts for their blends. That's what they use for Johnny Walker, for Dewar's, for J&B, for Cutty Sark, whatever it happens to be making. Well, only about 40 of those distilleries get over here. That's going to be Glenlivet and Glenfiddich and all the brands you see on the shelf, right?
Mm-hmm.
That still leaves about 120 or 130 distilleries over there you're never going to get. That's what we do. So we're going to go and get some rare barrels from these distilleries, bottle them up under the Murray McDavid label. That's the independent bottler.
Yep.
And in this particular case, it's called Benchmark, the Benchmark series, which is always going to be one barrel, cask strength, bottled up at whatever number of bottles we get. So in the case of the Bunnahabhain, this is the Bunnahabhain. And it's a 15-year-old.
Oh my God.
This was actually aged in a Margaux cask.
Who's Margaux?
Margaux is a.
She sounds like she could be trouble. I'm just telling you.
She's definitely trouble at 58.7% alcohol. Believe me.
Yeah.
15-year Bunnahabhain. So, Ed, I don't know if Scott told you, but Bunnahabhain is my favorite Scotch distiller.
It's very good. Now, this is one of the unpeated versions.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay?
Nice.
So they don't do any peat to this guy.
I love this.
This particular,
Which one are we trying? Which one are we trying first? I
well,
guess.
you should taste the Spayside's finest first.
Okay.
All right. So let's try the Glen. Now, what can you, so the Glenfarclas is 16-year.
16.
Is this just an ex bourbon or is this a combo ex bourbon ex sherry cask?
This is going to be ex sherry, Oloroso sherry for 16 years.
Oh, geez, 16 years. Wow.
Okay.
All right. So, wow. Okay.
They didn't start it in bourbon.
Oh, man, that's very fruity, but very buttery though on the nose.
Look at you, Scott. Look at you calling out the butteriness on this beautiful.
Yeah. Apparently, I just need to be semi-sick for this stuff to smell good.
Scotch can be now. So you guys watching, that's part of the club. We're not saying we are going to pick one of these, but we wanted to taste through them just to see if it was an option and how many bottles there would be. And if there was enough interest from you guys that we would grab maybe, okay, it would be our first ever Scotch release, coming from Scotland. I know a lot of you guys are Scotch fans too, but I think this is kind of a nice little surprise when you're looking at a 16-year and a 15-year from two pretty well-known distillers in Scotland. So,
yeah. And that's really the whole thing. It was like the Tomatin. Tomatin, unfortunately, with that one, came out of what we call an octave. An octave is half the size of a bourbon barrel, and it only threw off 87 bottles.
Okay.
It was Oloroso sherry, so the dark, rich, sweet, fantastic, but those things they just don't last long.
Yeah, the this Tomatin, it's very quintessential Tomatin. It's malty. It's got that like that waxy type of nose to it, but that's already all gone. So I'm gonna move over to the Glenfarclas here. So
yeah, all right. It is very like almost a tropical fruit note, like a little bit to it, something.
Yeah, Scotch, Scotch with some age can definitely get a little bit tropical. This doesn't seem to be a super wet sherry cask because it's not a super dark, rich color. So I feel like the sherry is complementing the malt more than the sherry overtaking the malt here.
Exactly. And that does happen. So these guys over in Scotland, they're watching these barrels constantly. And when I tasted this, they send me samples and I'll go through and pick out the barrels I want. We've got some more stuff coming over now, along with the, did you ever hear of one called Leapfrog?
No, you can't say I have.
Well, it's kind of a play on words, and it was basically a joke. So when Murray McDavid first started up, they were able to get themselves a lot of Lafroig.
Oh,
and they were over here trying to tell people, well, this is Lafroig, and nobody could pronounce it. So finally, they said, okay, never mind, forget about Lafroig, just call it Leapfrog.
I like that, Leapfrog. I think that's how Scott would pronounce it, probably if he saw it.
Probably. I'll tell you what, man. That is like there's some brine behind that. That's like some stuff you'd soak a turkey in right there. But it's got that nice fruit layer. Like I think it has a really nice tropical kind of like light fruit note that has good spice to it.
It is. This gives you like apple pie filling, pear filling, and then it glides into that beautiful, that dark fruit, that almost that nutty character that Oloroso can give you.
Yeah.
Ed, what do you get in this one?
Well, when you talk about Scotch to most people, first thing they're going to say is, "Oh, I had some Scotch when I was young, and I hate the stuff."
Yeah.
So what'd you drink? Well, it was probably Old Two Shoes blended Scotch whiskey. Okay.
Old Two Shoes.
I
like that. Now, if there was a brand called Old Two Shoes, I think I would drink that shit. I'm
yeah, if we pick one of these, we're calling it Old Two Shoes.
I think that's very fitting. We're going Old Two Shoes. I like that one right there.
But that's usually what people start off with, and of course, I can completely understand why you don't like Scotch. Okay.
Yeah.
When you get to stuff like this, this is top class stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there's you've got 16 years of work put into this thing. And they're not that expensive. I mean, they really aren't. A bottle like this probably is on the shelf at, I'm going to say, about 120, roughly.
Um,
About 120 bottles.
$120.
Oh, 120 bucks. Okay.
wow, $120 for a 16-year? That's
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's pretty impressive, especially, I mean, a lot of people do, they still, will take the value of a scotch over a bourbon. I mean, that's something that does come up when a lot of these bourbon prices have gone up, and, you're seeing, 8-year and 9-year stuff at $200 plus. So a 16-year at 120 is pretty good value.
Yeah, it is. Then moving on to the Bunnahabhain.
All right, I can't wait for my Buna girl. Oh yeah, that's Buna. I always get this note on Bunnahabhain that I love, and it's chestnuts. I get roasted chestnuts on Bunnahabhain.
Have you had a chance to be over there?
Not yet, but I'm definitely planning on it. And this you said, Ed, is all sherry as well on the Buna? Oh no, you said it's that Margot.
Margot.
So
yeah, I was gonna say this is much darker fruit for sure. Yeah.
So tell me, Margot. What's Margot? I don't think I've heard this one yet.
Margot is a Bordeaux red wine.
Oh, okay.
And Chateau Margaux, which is really where this barrel came from. I can't call it Chateau Margaux; they'll sue me. It's Margaux, and Margaux is one of the top class Bordeaux wines in France.
This reminds me of the from the Christmas Vacation with Margot and Todd.
Okay. You're never going to taste a Bunnahabhain like this.
I don't think I've ever had tasted a Bunnahabhain like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's very, very approachable. No doubt about that. Probably one of the more enjoyable, I'll say, scotches I've probably ever had, to be honest.
This particular one is 58.7. There was 312 bottles out of this barrel.
I tell you what, the malt of Bunnahabhain really shines through in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, the viscosity is definitely there. There's a velvety texture that it has to it. That's pretty nice. Man, I could actually drink that shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was doing a review with somebody else. I can't remember who it was, and I think he referred to scotch as like panther piss, something like that.
Jeez, I don't know if I want to know the real story behind that, but
man, I don't know. You have this, man. You go back to the first one. You go back to the Glenfarclas, and the Glenfarclas becomes much more tropical in a way, where you're almost getting this pineapple peach note.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Glenfarclas.
Yeah,
but then you go to the Bunnahabhain, and there's this darker, that wine cask influence, I think, is definitely coming through, but
big time.
It's gentle. So you get like the tannins, you get I think the dark fruit notes, but the malt of the Bunnahabhain really shines through.
Yeah, they're so different. That's the thing. They're I don't want to say like polar opposites, but man, it seems very, very different for me.
So Scott, which one do you actually like? These two?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're very enjoyable. The one thing that's kind of throwing me off a little bit is that, with the ABV or proofs on these, they sure don't seem to be drinking like at those proof points. They seem like lighter to me. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because there's not the spice that comes with like some of the bourbons or ryes, but
well, let me suggest this, Scott. It's one of the reasons is you just got through drinking 3 rye whiskeys.
Yeah.
And your palate has been adapted.
Yeah, I think for me, I like that Bunnahabhain. Oh my gosh, that's so good.
Yeah, it's definitely the darker profile is probably something I would lean a little bit more towards, like that lighter, fruitier note. It kind of reminds me a little bit more of like white wines, which I'm not a fan of at all. So like with any wine, I don't drink a lot of it, but I do like that darker profile. So like if I was gonna choose one, it would definitely be the
Bunnahabhain. Yeah, I would probably, if I'm going to pick one, I'm all over this Bunnahabhain. You said there's 300 plus of these, Ed?
Well, not anymore.
Okay.
There was 312 bottles when I first brought it in. We've already sold some of it.
Okay.
I think we've probably got about maybe 10 or 12 6-packs out there in the warehouse left.
Oh man, we could get rid of that.
Oh yeah,
6-packs.
I think that's actually a great count for our group.
I mean, that's like 80 bottles.
Yeah, that's not a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean that's worth for sure. I think there's 80 people who would buy that, don't you think? I mean, man, that's good. That's pretty.
And
good.
what would the price on this be, Ed?
You probably on this one around 150.
150 for this one?
Yeah.
I thought he said 50. That's what I heard. I mean, my ears are a little bit.
Listen, man. The Silver Springs is cheap enough. I think he could make some money on that.
Yeah. What you guys save on the Silver Springs, you could put that towards a Bunnahabhain. How's that sound?
Richie wants a Boona. Captain Ice wants a Boona. Devil's Cut wants a Boona. Dunny wants a Boona. Wow. Okay. So there's people that want the Boona.
All right. Well, I guess why don't you just earmark whatever you got left? I guess.
I'll tell you what, you guys. There's a lot of folks out there and I do a lot of tastings all the time, all over the country. It's amazing how many people come up to me and they say, I've been drinking bourbon for quite a while. I used to drink Scotch, but you've introduced me to this new stuff now, and I got to go back to Scotch. And then the next comment is, "Damn you."
Yeah, if you could, Ed, definitely earmark us for those 80 bottles, whatever you have left. I think there are a lot of people in our group would really, really enjoy. This is from someone that loves Bunnahabhain. I think this is the way you want to taste it, where you have an influence from a cask, but it's not overdone. You could taste the backbone of what the Bunnahabhain malt tastes like without it being overdone, overcooked. And you got some spice, you got some high proof, and you got a 15-year age statement on it, which is great. So this is if there is a type of Scotch that's for a bourbon drinker, it's going to be a single cask strength, high age product. And I mean, I think we could move 80 bottles for you. That would be great.
I mean, if there couldn't be any more of a Scotch endorsement from me, if I'm willing to drink it, like, man, there's got to be somebody out there who will like drink the shit out of this stuff. So I mean, that's a really nice whiskey right there. No.
Oh, it's so, and the more I'm drinking it, it's just getting better and better. And I think it had to get past all the rye stuff, and now now I'm just tasting all the Boona. It's so good. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you could probably just earmark one of the cases just for me, to be honest. But
and there's still a little bit of a brininess or this like salty texture that it has, kind of.
So Bunnahabhain is Bunnahabhain is a
Isla.
Yeah, it's an Isla whiskey. So Isla is known for some of those salty, more peated styles. So yeah,
is there peat in this?
No.
Okay. They do several types. Okay. Bunnahabhain will do a peated version, a light peated version, and they do a heavy one. It's called Stosha. But this particular one,
wonderful.
No peat. But what you are getting, Scott, yes, is a little bit of that saltiness because the distillery sits literally right on the edge of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, it's right on the edge of the Isle of Mull. And when I've been there, when those winds are coming in off that North Sea, man, oh man, hang on to your hat because it's going places.
Yeah, I just love the saltiness because their normal expressions, everything is like lightly peated on their normal expressions. So they have a very, very little bit of peat just to give it a wave of smoke. You don't get a lot of it. Right. And then they have completely unpeated like this one. And then they will do peated offerings as well. So Bunnahabhain, Bunnahabhain is a more of an approachable, I think, expression for bourbon drinkers for sure.
Well, let me ask you guys this. What is the reason for some who want like more peat versus less? Is it based on like region and like the availability of some of that, or like is that just their preference, or like how do they decide that part of it? Because it's such a influential like taste, within their whiskey.
Well, first of all, on Isla, all of the distillers are going to use peat. Peat in the process of making single malt. You're taking barley, you put it in a big tub, you let it soak in water. That's the malting process, right? You're letting that barley start to grow. It's now converting starch into sugars. We're looking for that sugar for fermentation, right? You drain the water off. Now you have to dry the barley, stop the growing process. Well, on Isla, the only fuel they have is peat. And peat is nothing but compressed vegetation. They dig these peat bricks out and they use that for fuel. And when that peat burns, it smokes. Well, when you smoke, you're drying your barley, you're smoking it. That's where that peat comes from. Every distiller is going to have what they refer to as their ppm levels. The ppm is the parts per million of the phenols. That's that level. And you go from very light, like Bunnahabhain, very, very light or none, all the way up to Ardbeg, blow your head off.
Yeah, and then even beyond Ardbeg, Octomore, which can get even
more, and all that stuff.
But honestly, Scott, peat preference, peated whiskeys, it's really all preference. And when you talk about, if you're just talking about the big three like Laphroaig or Leapfrog, whatever you would call it, Laphroaig, Ardbeg, and you could even get into Lagavulin. Even the peat profiles that they have can be different. Like some is more ashy, some are more fruit forward, some are more barbecuey. Like I equate Laphroaig to almost like cigarette ash, like that type of peat. Yeah, and then Ardbeg is like meaty to me, where it's like bacon. And then you get Lagavulin, which is a little bit more of a fruity smoke, at least to me.
You're absolutely right. And what that comes to is where they harvest the peat. So on the western side of Isla, they're right on the Atlantic Ocean. And so they get all of that brine, all of that stuff, that salty air coming in and permeating those peat bogs. You get over to the mainland where they do harvest peat over there. Clynelish, or not Clynelish, but Oban. Oban would be another distillery that's going to have a little bit of that peatiness. But the peat over there doesn't have the saltiness.
I was kind of digging like that brininess. I think it works well with like the fruit or the sweet notes, and I guess it maybe depends on which kind of fruit notes you're getting. But I definitely
So Scott, you would probably like more of those coastal regions, like a Highland Park or an Isla, or Oban, as he mentioned, and also Bruichladdich. Really, they get a lot of influence from the ocean, that saltiness that comes through. There's definitely a lot of different flavor profiles. I feel like some people try an Ardbeg for the first time and they think that that's all Scotch is, and that's just not the case. So.
No.
Yeah, that was nice.
In all fairness, obviously I've kind of spilled my a little bit of more information than I should have. I'm probably leaning a little more towards Scotch than my bourbon and rye. That's always been my preference ever since I've been in the business. But, the difference is you're going to get huge flavor differences between these distilleries of Scotland, more so than you're going to get with bourbon or rye.
Yeah.
This rye, the Silver Springs is great, okay? But the difference between these barrels, minimal. Pretty minimal. We tasted through three, and all three still have that base flavor. It's still there. When you get into single malt Scotch, oh my God, it's everywhere.
Yeah, I think you can make a case for bourbon and rye, though, to some degree, because we've seen so many craft distillers. I'm just really talking about the grain to glass distillers that have that came to the scene, and we're seeing them from California, Nevada, Maryland, Texas. there is terroir and there is an influence involved in these different flavor profiles. I wouldn't equate it to Scotch just quite yet, but I think there is a correlation.
I absolutely agree with that. Absolutely. Because well, as an example, the base bourbon we bring in for our G.W. Kelly's from Texas. They use Texas corn.
Yep.
Texas corn is different than Kentucky corn.
For sure. Yeah. Ed, have you selected some of these heavily peated single barrels for your brand?
What do you mean heavily peated?
Like you have Bunnahabhain, you have Glenfarclas. Have you bottled any Ardbeg or Lafroig or stuff like that?
No, we typically are not going to do name brands like that. What we do is stuff that you can't get. So, as an example, I brought in some Kalila.
Kalila. Okay.
Kalila, but again, it's always going to be aged in a finishing cask. Yep. So this Kalila was aged in a Tokai sweet wine cask.
Oh, I don't think I've had a Tokai aged.
That could be interesting.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah, that's different.
But it's peated.
Okay.
But the Tokai cask brought that peat down. It's not slap you in the face.
Yeah, honestly, my favorite peated type of Scotch are sherry bomb peated Scotches.
Okay, sure.
Those are my favorite. Like, you give me a peated Scotch that has been matured in either PX or Oloroso, or even if you want to get into Amontillado for a long period of time. Those are my favorite types of peated Scotches. Yeah.
Actually, we've got two Kalilas, and you're talking my language. The other Kalila I have is in a PX.
Oh, okay. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Ed, that sounds amazing. Okay, so we have two amazing casts tonight. We're gonna grab that Silver Springs, obviously, but this Bunnahabhain, I think, for the group is gonna be fantastic. So definitely,
it's gonna be. For me to be excited about this, like that's pretty crazy. So, we can't say thank you enough for your time and sharing this stuff with us. We're excited to get into the Silver Springs, and we'll select the bottle here in a second. But I guess I'm kind of looking forward to even trying these other two that I didn't even try, just to see what in the world the profiles of those things are like. But
they're quite different.
But yeah, pretty incredible stuff. And I think for the Silver Springs, I've told people, like, already, like, for anybody who just go buy some of it. Just, you don't even have to know like what, cask number, whatever that is. Just go buy it, try it. It's so, with them being random, in terms of all being single barrels, it's a very interesting thing, and knowing what some of those proofs and stuff can be are pretty darn amazing. So, Ed,
I got to tell you, I took a sip of that Craig Alecky is a special cask too. Wow.
Yes, it is.
that's good.
I wish I had more of it.
I still feel like I like the Boone a little better, but that is a really good. I like it more than the Tomatin for sure. That's good.
Really?
It's got a spice to it. The Tomatin to me is more malty, which I don't mind. But I like when you get a little spice in Scotch, and the Craig Alecky is giving me that.
Sure. And Tomatin is typically almost like it's nutty.
Yeah.
It's like walnuts.
Ed, I'm gonna tell you this now before we sign off, and I know Scott has to do the giveaway. When you have a sherry bomb peated offering, please reach out to us and let us know, because I would actually love to taste what you bring in, and possibly bring some bottles to the group. So let me know.
We'll do it.
All right.
And it's interesting. I think this is kind of the fun part of this, is mixing these two, kind of different worlds together, and giving you guys, again, something that's different and unique. And man, I'm actually looking forward to getting into that Bunnahabhain. I'm trying to figure out a little bit of like what that might go with in terms of a meal, like a really good, maybe a nice steak or something, to be honest. Like, that feels like it'd be
Scotch and steak is like, dude, that's like peas and carrots, man. They go right in.
Oh, I hate peas.
All right. How about peanut butter and jelly?
Yes. Now we're talking. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't like that first analogy, but the second one way better. So,
And then you
but
finish
yeah,
up,
thanks Ed for all of this. We appreciate it.
you finish it up with a little bit of chocolate, and there you go.
Yeah, man, that was some good stuff. So, all right, we've got all the names. We got all the names tallied up, and we'll let me share the screen here. We'll pick a winner, and we'll get a bottle of. I mean, probably, geez, by the time you guys get it and all the age stuff that Ed has, you're probably going to get like a 20-year-old Silver Springs here before too much longer. So, pretty sure that's what it's going to be, something like that. But anyway, so all right, here we go. Let me just share the screen real quick, and
let's get into the givey. Let's get into the givey.
Get into the giveaway here. So, all right, let me
for the givey.
Share the screen. All right. So here we go. All right, let's hit the old shuffle-rooski here, and here we go. So, good luck for tonight's winner bottle of the Silver Springs Rye. So, thanks again, Ed. Appreciate you doing this.
My pleasure.
What we got?
All right, Patrick. Congrats, buddy. Congrats on that. That was awesome. So there you go. So we'll close that out, get back to this, and stop sharing. There we go. All right. Congrats, Patrick. Well, I'll if you want to send me your information, you can send it to mybourbonjourney01@gmail.com or put something in there rigged as usual. Nothing rigged about the old wheel of death right there. That's for sure. So we'll make sure to get the bottle to you one way or another. But man, Ed, thanks for sending all this stuff out. This was pretty fantastic, and two interesting things to put together tonight. That's for sure. So
yeah, it was, and I'm glad you guys did it.
Thanks just so much for all your time and your information. Our group really nerds out on this stuff, and so do we. And your knowledge is incredible and very valuable to us and everybody watching. So thanks for what you do, and we're looking forward to collabing with you in the future.
Sounds
definitely
good.
Especially if you get one of those peated cherry bombs in.
They'll be coming down the pike.
You're always be angling. Always be angling. You gotta work whatever you can in there.
I gotta get it stuck in his brain. So when they come in, he's like, who's gonna like this? Jason from the Master Drum. Let's go.
There you go. That's how it works right there. That's how it works. So now we appreciate everything. Ed, thanks for all your time and all the samples, and everybody for all the support. We greatly appreciate it. Stay tuned. We got a lot of stuff coming here pretty soon. We've been doing some picks, but there's going to be a lot of things coming at you guys here pretty quickly. So thanks again for all the support, and we greatly appreciate it. So with that being said, we'll see you guys when we see you. Thanks for tuning in tonight, and thanks for thanks for everything. We can't say thanks enough. So appreciate you guys. Have a good rest of your evening, and we will talk to you later. Have a good night, guys.
Cheers, guys.